Hi, my name is DeAndre Ray. Today I'll be giving my speech on immigration. Immigration is basically the movement from your home country to another country which you don't really have residency or citizenship to become a permanent resident there. We live here in the U.S., and there's been a lot of controversy surrounding the subject of immigration, especially when Trump was in office. Um, my eyes recently opened to the subject whenever my son was born. His mother is from Guerrero, Acapulco, Mexico. Forgive me if I butchered that. But so it opened my eyes to the subject a whole lot more. I didn't know what all they had to go through, their hardships, how complicated it was to try to get citizenship, how expensive it is to be here on visa and having to renew your visa every 2 years. But it's a common misconception, and I say it's about half and half, because half the U.S. is fine with the idea of immigration, so to speak, and the other half is completely against it, which is ridiculous. It's a common misconception that they're just coming here to pretty much destroy our country, make it a worse place than it already is, so to speak. But that's completely not true. My research brought me, to a few interesting facts. There's about 44.7 million immigrants that reside here in the U.S. right now. And of those 44.7 million, 24% are from Mexico. So my son's other side of his family falls into that category. But back to what I was saying. It's a common misconception that they come over here to tear up our country, make it a bad place. They don't want to do anything. They're just looking for handouts, which isn't true. Out of the 44.7 million immigrants that reside here in the U.S., 28 million are in the workforce. And that makes up about 17% of the U.S. workforce. So that's quite a bit. And that's more than half of the immigrants that live here that are in the workforce. So they're by no means being lazy. And also, there's a misconception that they're not smart, which my research has also brought me to realize that they're pretty smart. A lot of them are probably smarter than a lot of us, so to speak. Well, on paper. Of the 44.7 million immigrants that live here in the U.S., 32% of the immigrants that are 25 and older have 4-year degrees. And about 18% of the 44 million have businesses. So they're giving our government jobs. They're making life easier for all of us. They also pay billions in taxes every year, which also promotes our country. I just feel as if they should have, equal opportunities as everyone else. Like I was saying earlier, my son's other side of the family are from Mexico. They've had quite a hard time, living here, and they've been here now for about 27 years. My son's grandparents were able to get their green cards but it took them around 8 years. My son's mom is here on a visa, and so is her sister, which they have to renew every few years, which is around $200 to $400 every renewal. And it may not sound like a lot, but every time they renew, they have to renew at least 7 visas, so it can stack up. Let's see. And in conclusion, I just believe that immigration shouldn't sound bad to a lot of people. It shouldn't sound bad to people that live in the U.S. They are people. And everybody should be treated with compassion. And like Congressman Ilhan Omar, excuse me if I butchered that, as she said, our immigration policy should be based off of compassion and a desire to help one another. I feel like that would just make the U.S. an even better place. You know, it shouldn't be this hard to live. You know, especially when you're moving from one place to find a better life, and then you move and you're pretty much stuck in limbo for years and years, not knowing what's going to happen next. So I feel like we should all be knowledgeable, you know, and receiving to the idea, and do some research. There is a few things that we can, you know, try to do to help, but that's all I got.